Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do another orchid maintenance video and I want to start with this plant here that's dripping all over the table. It's my Cattleya dowiana and I want to repot this plant because after repotting the Cattleya walkerianas I noticed that the media really needed to be refreshed, and this plant came in the same order, has been in its pot for the same amount of time. But due to the care requirements, this plant has been kept much more humid. So I expect the media to be in a worse state and I would like to just change it up and get it into a fresh place. So you can see that there are new roots coming on the plant, and that's always a good thing when it comes to repotting. So yeah, this is the dowiana. Later on I also want to repot this plant. This is the Cattleya schroederae, which is just hitting the edge of the pot, so it needs to be dealt with. And there's also a quick update on the Bela Vista import I did earlier. And sorry for the noise, there is potentially a thunderstorm starting here, so that's really nice because it's been super hot and super dry where I live. We just need water. Seriously, it's insane. But yeah, we're not talking about climate change, we're talking about repotting plants, so let's continue.
Subscribing might not be worth it, but it's also not optional, so just do it.
So as always, I've had this plant soak in a little bit of water to help the roots release easier from the media. So yeah, let's dig in. I have not unpotted this plant ever. So I just potted it up when I got it in, I guess like spring 2020. And yeah, so it's been 2 years in this pot. I have, I guess, an okay root system. But what I have noticed is that this plant kind of has the tendency to dry out a little bit, or like call out to me and be like, can I just get a little more water? And this has been happening a lot lately, so maybe also it just needs a little bigger pot that stays a little more humid for longer. I know that dowiana is kind of infamous for kind of rotting roots and losing them and being really difficult, so I hope I'm not going to ruin it by this repot, but as I said, there are kind of new roots coming and that's always a good thing. Yeah, so it's a bit of an issue right now that a lot of my plants kind of are moving into bigger pots right now. Because that means there's less space, and like I should be happy that they're all growing up and they're all happy and everything's great, but at the same time I'm not gonna lie, like I never planned to have such a big collection, and it's fun and I love it. These plants mean a lot to me, of course, right? Otherwise I would not have bought them, but at the same time it's a lot of work to take care of them. So, yeah, not sure what I'm gonna do. I feel like I don't really want to get rid of too many plants. I mean, I guess the tolumnias are probably gonna go, like, not gonna lie. I feel like, well, I do adore tolumnias and they're great and everything. I don't know, I feel like I'm really happy with them, but I'm also not super mega hyped about them. And I guess that's like a moment when you can say, you know, break up? I don't know. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Anyway, so this is kind of me getting rid of the media. The bark seems to be pretty good still. It does have a little bit of a I don't want to say a fungusy smell, but I guess there is a bit of, you know, like, and it just gets old and a bit moldy. Like here, I don't know if you can see this really well. Probably not. There is, I don't think this is salt buildup, I think this is actually some kind of mold getting settled in. So I guess it is really a good time now to just, you know, refresh and everything. I mean, I was thinking about trying out semi-hydro in like leca or something with them. But then if I watch Nina's videos, she still has to repot on a regular basis and do root cleanups. I don't know, right? Because ultimately, I guess the only benefit then is that you can reuse your media. But then Nina, for example, she boils it and sterilizes it, and soaks it and everything. I don't know, it still seems like a very hands-on approach, which, I don't know, I'd rather have my hands off, to be honest. Hands-free? I don't know. You know what I mean. I just hope that this plant is not gonna drop all of these glorious roots, because that would be very sad. It's been growing really well for me. I guess I would have shown it in a Collection Chronicles video, but basically it came with just kind of this back part here. Like all of like these 4 bigger growths were grown under my care. So yeah, it's kind of 2 growths a season. I am kind of hoping for maybe a 3rd one this year. That would be really nice, just to, you know, to get a little more material under the belt. I don't know, I feel like the lawrenceana, for example, suddenly activated a previous eye after the repot. Maybe this plant is going to do that as well. That would be really cool if it decided to maybe activate a previous eye and start branching the rhizome. Right, if you have several leads, that's even better when it comes to growth. So yeah, I'm just kind of pulling off some dead roots here, or at least trying to do so. I don't know, you feel dead, but you don't want to come off, so maybe you're alive actually. Hunty? I guess still working it fiercely. Okay, so in there, I don't know if you can see this, probably not. But there are also some shells, clam shells, or like, I don't know, snail shells or slug, I never know. I guess snails have like the little shell. Anyways, the plant seems to really like those, it hugged some of those. So that's a good sign. Maybe it likes to have a little extra calcium in its life. I guess I can water you with tap water, huh? There are just some pieces that I want to get out from the center here. Again, like this repotting, it's just like, why do I have to spend so much patience? Okay, so there are some pieces of bark that the plant just doesn't seem to want to release or relinquish, let go of. So I don't know, I guess I could fiddle around a little more, but I guess I could also just leave them on and be like, you know what, if that's what you want, then that's what you should have. I'm actually wondering if I should give it a little more moss, because this mix has been actually pretty much only bark and just some moss on the bottom, which literally I don't think the plant even noticed a lot of. So yeah, maybe I should just keep it in bark again and just, you know, let it dry off, if that's what it wants. Because this is, I feel like, all the experienced growers, that's what they say about dowiana. It's like, let it dry off quickly, you know. And I guess I should just water more frequently then, instead of having it sit in water forever. Just getting my scissors and just giving it a chop. Speaking of chop, actually, thank you so much for the great response on the lawrenceana repot video. I was a bit nervous before uploading that, because I'm like, you know, sometimes it's just a bit scary to show what you're up to with your plants, and because I know that there are so many people that actually know what they're doing, unlike me. It can be a bit stressful, right? Because you never know if you're gonna be criticized a lot. But actually the video was really well received, and that was really nice, because I do really like the lawrenceanas. There's just such great plants, and they've been doing really well in my care, and I'm really proud of them. And the same actually holds true for the dowiana. It's came in the same order, so this was like an order I placed in kind of spring-ish 2020. I ordered the lawrenceana, the dowiana, and the rex together, and they're just, you know, my babies now. I have other color forms actually of the dowiana. I have now earlier I got rositas, 2 little ones, and I have an aurea now that I actually never showed. I think I never filmed a video for the unboxing. That was just like a birthday present to myself, actually. Like, today is August 5th, which means that tomorrow I'm turning 29 years old. So yeah, I guess sometimes you have to get gifts for yourself, and so I got the Cattleyas Dayana aurea for myself. And yeah, that's really exciting. I don't know if you wanted to know that, but now you do, I guess. Anyway, so I'm not gonna chop off too much more. Kind of also trying to get a lot of these aerial roots into the pot. Thinking of kind of doing one of these ones where, you know, there's a pot in and it kind of makes the bigger pot a little more shallow, but I feel like with the roots and everything, this plant could actually go into this pot. I learned I shouldn't pot the orchids up into too much space because I guess they do want to be a bit more restricted, but I don't know, this pot almost seems a little too small for the plant. What do you think? I mean, I'm probably gonna make a decision anyways and just follow through with that, so, you know, but I feel like this is, I guess we could get maybe 2 or 3 more growths in, but I kind of almost want to get a bigger pot. So much for it, they want to be potted in a small one. Okay, let's see what we have here. So I guess that is the same size, right? Yes. But then the next one up is huge. Like huge. I guess I could make that one a little more shallow. Just, you know, if I add this pot in, what do you think? Maybe that could work. Yeah? Right, because then effectively I just have the upper half of the pot that I'd be using. I don't know. But I don't know, this feels right. You can tell me in the comments if this was a good decision or not, but I don't know, I feel like I'd be repotting. I mean, I guess I want to repot this plant probably in 2 years again, but I feel like with this one, you know what I mean? It just seems so restrictive. Like I'd have to fiddle around with the roots a lot to get them into the pot, and I don't know, that's already a sign, right? If it doesn't fit, then it just doesn't fit. The only downside to this pot is that it's so much bigger and it's gonna take so much more space, so dang. Luxury problems, I guess. I don't know, let's see. Okay, so we have, oh, I think it's raining outside. Hallelujah, like literally everything's dying in drought and stuff. Oh, I think speaking of drought, there is a root that could be taken care of. What a mess. This is what happens if you start the camera at 10 p.m. on a Friday. And it's still over 30 degrees in my flat, so that's lovely. Yeah. Anyways, I feel like this is where this plant is meant to be. It's literally its destiny. I do want to give it a little bit of moss just right on top, like around the roots that are just sitting kind of on top of the media, because it's kind of difficult for me right now to put the bark really inside of them and so on, and don't want them to just sit there and dry out. So again, you can't see anything I'm doing, but I don't know, if you want to get a tutorial, watch someone else's videos, Gorge. Like, Hunty, I barely know what I'm doing, so I'm not going to tell you what to do either. Yeah, I don't know, I really like the moss. I used to put moss on the bottom, thinking it's almost like a little water reservoir. Now looking at the plants I've unpotted, they don't really seem to like that as much. I have some plants that really love it, but those just filled the pot with roots very quickly and just drank it all up very quickly as well. So I think I'm just gonna put moss on top and just keep it very fluffy from now on. And I'll see how plants deal with that, because I feel like the moss will dry out very quickly, but it's still gonna keep a little more hydration around the plant to, I don't know, help, especially when it's so hot as it is right now. Maybe in winter I'm not gonna like that, but I guess in winter I could also just mist the moss and be like, there you go, that's your watering. And yeah, so this is kind of what we're looking at right now. The rhizome is kept on top, and I kind of hope that there is going to be another eye that's going to swell and be like, you know what, let's just put out a new growth. I'd be very glad about that. And there is actually one that I'm kind of having an eye on. Ha 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 ha. So yeah, anyways, that's the dowiana taken care of. Mess. Guess next I could do one that's not going to be as messy. This is the Cattleya gaskelliana concolor, it's supposed to be. It has a new growth coming, as you can see here, and I checked the other day, we actually have new roots coming. So that's, you know, it's always this moment when you have an import and there are the new roots emerging. It's always such a good moment because you know, okay, this plant is at least not gonna die immediately. I have some leeway with it. So that's really nice. I'm still a bit worried about this discoloration on the bottom of the leaves. I feel like it looks like maybe insect bites, but anyways, you never know. And yeah, so I'm not gonna hypothesize too much about that. But what I am gonna do is pot it up, and I am gonna keep a little bit of moss around these roots because that's what they're used to now, and then they can just grow into the normal bark I always use. I am going to try out some more coarse bark for this one. It's already a relatively big plant. I kept using the finer bark for the dowiana because it is just such a thirsty batch. But I feel like this one, I'll just almost use it like a little drainage layer. Put maybe a little moss around it. I'll just reuse this moss. And yeah, it's kind of a media experiment for me now to have thick, or like have this coarse bark and just some moss in layers, and just keep the moss very fluffy. But then still kind of using the finer bark, not gonna lie. So yeah, and then I'll just, probably can't see anything. I don't even know why I'm changing it into a new pot altogether. Like, I could have just kept it in this pot, you know, had I been smart about it, but I guess I've never been smart and I'm not gonna start now. So there you go. Keep it staked so the roots don't die on me. And yeah, you can see this is my quick pot up of this plant. It's a very thirsty plant. I think we can all acknowledge that. But with the new roots coming, hydration is on its way. And yeah, don't want to hear any complaints. And I know that this is a bit of a tight fit, but let's see. I feel like this new growth is not going to be as big as the previous ones, and I feel like I can get easily one more growth in after this one, and then I can just pot it up into a bigger one. But I don't want to have too much media around it now, because then it's going to stay wet and it's going to lose its root again. So, or like roots. And that would be rather annoying. So, there you go. Okay, so now the Cattleya schroederae, I've had it soak off camera in water and it's dripping and you know, it's a mess, but whatever. This plant I actually got last year in the import from Afri orchids, and it just made a lot of progress, got very large, and now it's just a bit too big for its pot, and there are kind of new-ish roots on this plant. I'll show you once I have it out. So yeah, that's kind of why I'm like, you know what, I think you're ready to move on and get a new pot. And there's like this one root that's just super stuck. Oh, come on, Gorge. Don't do this. Behave. Whatever, I guess you're gonna branch. And if not, I don't know, sue me. Anyway, so you can see here, there are the newer roots emerging, and there's also a new growth coming, and some, I don't know, second leaf, sheath, whatever. This tells me the plant is getting mature, which is always great. I guess I could do a more thorough cleanup on it and just not handle it for a while. So yeah, I guess I should just do the grown-up thing and you know, just my PhD advisor, she always says, just kiss the frog when you don't want to do something but you kind of have to. So I guess I'm just gonna kiss the frog. As you can see, this plant was in a pretty moss-heavy media. This is because it came as an import, didn't have a lot of great roots and so on, so I had to regrow these roots, and this is kind of, it's been pretty much a year since I got it, so this is, I'm actually not sure if I've featured this plant in Collection Chronicles yet. I'm sorry, the Collection Chronicles are a bit on pause right now. So I lost a lot of my old footage because I had it stored on a hard drive that died, which means I also lost a lot of the progress of editing the Collection Chronicles I had already filmed. I didn't really go back to see what is salvageable really, because I'm just like, ugh, can't deal with that right now. So I don't know. I lost quite a bit of footage there and so on, so I might have to reshoot things for sure, kind of start editing from scratch. And the Collection Chronicles are actually a lot of work when it comes to editing, because I have to look for all of the old footage, and because I'm just a chaotic mess, I don't have a nice folder for every plant where I just have then subfolders saying, oh, this is what it looked like then, this is what it looked like then. So I have to go through my camera roll and everything. So it's a bit annoying, not gonna lie. But it's also so rewarding because you see really how the plants grew, how they evolved, and so on. So it's actually really nice. It's also a lot of work, so I've been procrastinating a lot. I know Fernanda was asking to see the Tolumnias. I'm literally gonna do that for sure. Then I was talking to Nina about looking into the kind of more, I guess, compact Brazilian Laelias that I have. So, Laelias, right? We of course all know that they're Cattleyas, but whatever. I still call them Laelias, even though like I have nostalgia for names that I never used to use anyway, so not sure what that's all about. But anyways, yeah, so these are definitely coming. I have for sure footage for the Labiate Cattleyas part 2, which has been requested. And yeah, so I have to film them, I have to edit them. And I feel like this kind of repotting and just talking videos, they are very easy to do right now. And since I had not filmed, like before the Warcariana video, I think had not filmed, like really filmed a video in a few months, like I guess April or so. So, you know, I have to get back into things, I have to start somewhere, and these videos are just very approachable right now. That doesn't mean they're all that's gonna come out. There are definitely gonna come more of the collection chronicles, but just right now I'm like, I don't want to say burnt out, but I don't know. It's just a little difficult for the inspiration and everything. You know, as an artist, you need to be kissed by the muse, and yeah, I don't know. If you see them, Gorge, send them my way. I actually also noticed, this is really weird, but while writing my thesis, I noticed that actually editing videos feels very similar to scientific writing, at least to me. I don't know why. I can't really put my finger on it, like where this comes from, but this is just kind of an observation I made. And so while writing my thesis, I just could not film videos because it felt like I'm just constantly writing. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I think this plant is also just gonna go into a mainly bark focused medium, just with some moss here and there. I don't know, I feel like bark is really what these plants like a lot, and the moss, while it's useful, I feel like sometimes it does stay wet very, very long, and I don't know, I'd rather have them too dry than wet forever. And I am going to add some of the larger bark pieces kind of right underneath here, where like there aren't gonna come, I don't know if you can actually see this, like right here in this kind of little hollow where I don't expect to have new roots grow into, because the bark balls are probably not gonna throw out new roots. So I'm just gonna put this bark here to bulk it up a bit, because I also don't want to have it just pure air, because I feel like that's gonna be very dry in my conditions. And yeah, I feel like this plant could probably go into a slightly larger pot if I really wanted it to. But again, I don't want to keep it too wet. There's kind of a theme here. Don't know why I'm yelling so much. Like, it's fine, Gorge. Like, let's not get worked up over this. And I am probably gonna stake it a bit, just... This Cattleya schroederae is actually a species that's not super commonly sold in Europe, which is why I imported it. Actually, don't know why. It seems like a really lovely, slightly more compact, maybe. Very elegant and apparently very nicely fragrant unifoliate Cattleya. So I don't know why people don't have it on their radar as much here. Same for, I guess, lawrenceana. I got some very tiny seedlings of lawrenceana very recently. Like with my very amateur eyes and judgment, I feel like they have been out of flask for not a very long time. So that's interesting actually. But yeah, this has been definitely a plant that, or like a species that I had been looking for a while, the lawrenceana. Because apparently it's also very fragrant, and this was lawrenceana concolor. So let's see if they make it, hopefully, because it's been extremely warm, extremely dry. And with these tiny seedlings, it's you know, they can go from I'm okay to I'm literally a parched piece of charcoal in half a day. So, and since I don't work from home anymore now that I'm not writing, it's always a bit difficult, right? So I usually just water them at night, these seedlings, and they do get attention every day now during summer, because if I don't do that, they basically sublimate. Like, they don't even melt anymore, they just go straight from solid to gas. Anyway, so yeah, there you go. This is the Cattleya schroederae. Potted up. I hope the new growth is gonna continue its momentum. And yeah, maybe we can see some schroederae blooms soon-ish. That would be gorgina. Thanks a lot for watching, actually. I feel like these videos are extremely casual these days. Very much like, hi, I switch on the camera. It's just right now I think this is what I need to do to get back into the groove of making videos. And I hope that there will be some more interesting or like more, I don't know, more highly produced videos. I don't know if that's the correct term. But anyways, you know what I mean. Videos coming soon. And yeah, that's it. Thanks a lot for watching. See you later. Boom. Dang, these scissors are so annoying. Yeah, I was. And now, last but not least, the Cattleya schroederae, which has been soaking now. Where is it? Just a second.